So let's go to Scott to kick off with Venom, Let There Be Carnage, shall we?
Yes, we never talked about the first Venom film at the time it was released because I hadn't seen it, which seems as good a reason as any. We also didn't talk about it some months later when I caught up with it, on my part at least, because I was only half watching it, but even so, it didn't seem half as bad as my impression of the general consensus would have led me to believe. So that was enough to tempt me to the cinema to watch the follow-up, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and also because the trailer promised the Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson scenery-chewing Gurnoff. Sign me up. So, this sees Hardy's Eddie Brock having reached something of a detente with his superpowered alien symbiote Venom, with absolutely no eating people allowed, even the bad people. But Venom's straining at the leash, wanting to get out and see the world, meet people, eat some of them, while Eddie's insisting on laying low, what with being at least a person of interest to Stephen Graham's detective Patrick Mulligan for the chaos of the last film. He's trying, with little success, to restart his journalism career, but his luck changes when he's called into prison to interview a death row inmate, Woody Harrelson's Cletus Cassidy, a very crazy serial killer who's refusing to give up the locations of his victims. Much to Mulligan's chagrin, Eddie/Venom crack the case to plaudits aplenty, but Cassidy gets something unexpected out of it too, with a bite and a taste of symbiote blood, leading to the spawn of another symbiote, Carnage. Just as Cassidy is coming into his superpowers, the tension between Eddie and Venom finally boils over and they separate. Just the wrong timing, as Cassidy breaks out of prison and sets about breaking out his also kinda crazy girlfriend, Naomi Harris's Frances Barrison, or Shriek, due to her ability to create powerful sonic blasts with her voice. Will Eddie and Venom be able to get their act together and defeat Carnage and Shriek? Well, obviously, this is not something that's looking to break any molds. And to be honest, it's kind of refreshing in this day and age to watch a comic book adaptation that, well, seems like it wants to be a comic book adaptation and keeps any illusions of grandeur in check. It's a big, goofy film with a silly plot, silly characters, and silly action set pieces, and gets out of your way in about 90 minutes. It's like a refugee from another time. The multiverse truly is imploding. Director Gollum keeps things battering along at a fair old clip. The performances are, well, let's politely say broad, but fitting for the material, and the action sequences are adequate to fairly groundbreaking. There's also a few decent lines in amongst the more serviceable parts of the script. I'm not going to go to bat for Venom, Let There Be Carnage being a masterwork of cinema, but it's a very entertaining slice of hokum of the kind I wish Marvel would embrace more closely. And maybe with the post-credit scene and the impending cluster cuddle of Spider-Man No Way Home, we'll get that, but I am not holding my breath. Yes. If you're one of the people who kind of caught up with that first film and thought it was decent, then this is a touch better than it. So it's a mild recommendation. It's not going to change your world, but yeah, it's fun, and as I say, it doesn't take up too much of your time, and sometimes that's all I'm looking for in a slice of cinema, so yeah, give it a go.
I'm one of those people who caught up with the original one and thought it was decent, so I just didn't.
You're exactly the target audience.
Yeah, I watched it a couple of weeks ago for the first time and thought, yes, this isn't bad, I quite like this. It was quite funny, not taking itself seriously. So yeah, I did want to see if Let There Be Carnage. I just didn't get around to it, but I did, from the moment I saw the running time, appreciate it. Like, yes, 90 minutes, this is the length a comic book film should be, because it's a comic book film. Well, yes. It can be very enjoyable. They ought not to be 3 hours long.
Well, I haven't seen any of the Venom films, and yet I still feel quite confident in passing my judgment as... Make of that what you will.